Away from that interview, we move on now to one of the activities held to celebrate the 2019 Law Week of the Nigerian Bar Association Lagos branch, and I'm talking about the Elders' Night. Law Weekly was at that event, and we have some of the details of what transpired.
Guests arriving for the 2019 Elders' Night of the Nigerian Bar Association Lagos branch. It's a social event designed to encourage camaraderie at the bar by celebrating the elders and providing yet another opportunity for them to rub minds with the younger ones and to mentor them. The chairman of the Lagos branch says he cannot quantify the value that the event brings to the activities of the branch.
Our profession is very hierarchical, right? It's a profession that puts a lot of premium on seniority. And what happens is, as you get older, your schedule becomes a lot tighter and you're not able to participate in the activities of the bar the way you used to or would like to. So we noticed that a lot of our elders, we don't see them as often as we would like to see them. And we thought, what do we do, to celebrate our elders? So I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, because as you rightly noted, the Elders' Night has not always been part of the activities for the Law Week. So about 4 or 5 years ago, we thought, why don't we create an event, to get our elders out, get an opportunity to, fraternize with them, have some camaraderie and celebrate them.
Some of the elders being celebrated here say they appreciate the event and what it seeks to achieve.
As elders, there's mentoring. You mentor the young ones. You are a voice to ensure that everything in the bar goes on well, that policy standards are set, that there's a policy direction, and that basically you do all you can to support the Bar Association, in this case, the Lagos branch. And that's what it's really all about. It also gives the elders an opportunity to relax. As lawyers, we all work very hard. And law is very time-consuming, an opportunity to relax, fraternize with each other, and even exchange ideas of what the future portends, areas we should be concentrating on, and how we can generally improve the matters of the bar.
It has been very, very positive on all ramifications. It has been very, very something that brought the elder together. Because some of the elders, they are no more active. But this is just forum that we bring them out. You can see what is happening here tonight. It is very, very fantastic.
See, we have young people at the ends of affairs, and they are learning, and so far they are doing well. And we hope that the height that the elders have achieved, they too will get there.
A former president of the bar, Augustine ALEGEH, says the idea of an elders' night is laudable and one he would recommend to other branches of the bar.
I think it's very laudable. I don't know if other branches are not doing, but I think it's something that other branches, if they are not, should be encouraged to do. In my branch, in Benin branch, we don't do it, but I think it's something that I'll speak to my people and see if we can start, because it's really, really innovative and it brings a lot of benefit to the branch. Even from attending a function like this, an elder will be encouraged to attend 1 or 2 branch meetings, and that's all you do at the bar is one. It must always be one, from the new weeks to the oldest of the oldest.
This year's Elders' Night was hosted by a former chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association section on business law, Mr. George Etomi, and his wife, Efosa Etomi.
I believe you spoke to Chief Ajomade. You won't believe he's 88. And it's just simply incredible. It's over 60-something years at the bar. I'm just 42 years. 42 years is a lot of time, but again, 60-something, you have to be humble. This profession teaches you that in succeeding, you must think about those coming up beyond you. So you have to show good example, you have to mentor them, you have to basically play the sort of role that will make them look forward to the finest the profession has to offer.
On the home stretch, let's bring you a recap of some of the top stories from the courtrooms.
We'll begin with the report that the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has adjourned to June the 25th, the pre-trial hearing of a petition filed by the Hope Democratic Party and its presidential candidate, Mr. Ambrose Oworu, seeking the cancellation of the February 23rd election. At the last hearing of the petition, the chairman of the tribunal, Justice Mohammed Garba, drew the attention of the petitioners to an application filed on behalf of the party seeking to change its counsel. The tribunal asked the parties to respond to the application filed by a factional chairman of the party, Mr. Roland Tambra. However, counsel to HDP and its presidential candidate told the tribunal that the applicant is a meddlesome interloper. And at the Supreme Court, also sitting in Abuja, judgment in the dispute over the Osun State governorship election has been fixed for July the 5th. The court fixed the date after taking arguments from the parties challenging the outcome of the election. Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, his party, the All Progressives Congress, and the Independent National Electoral Commission all asked the Supreme Court to dismiss the appeals filed by Senator Ademola Adeleke on the grounds that they all lacked merit. They also asked the court to set aside their appeal for being defective. Senator Adeleke, through his counsel, however, urged the court to allow their appeal and restore the majority decision of the State Election Petition Tribunal that declared him winner of the polls. Still in Abuja, this time in the Federal High Court, a former National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Olisa Metu, has testified that the 400 million naira for which he is standing trial was paid to him by former President Goodluck Jonathan and not the former National Security Advisor Colonel Sambo Dasuki, as alleged by the EFCC. Mr. Metu also told the court that the money which led to his arraignment was paid for the purpose of executing some projects for the federal government. Giving evidence also on behalf of his company Dextra Investment Limited, which is the second defendant in the suit, and the account where the 400 million naira was paid into, the former spokesperson of the PDP told Justice Okonabang that he could not consider the money unlawful because it came from the then president. Metu recalled that he held a meeting with the then president where various issues and challenges facing the country were discussed, after which former President Goodluck Jonathan then made the 400 million naira available to him to carry out the national assignment. He stressed that the money could not have been for an unlawful purpose because he was helping and contributing to stabilizing the government. Metu also specifically dismissed allegations that the money was channeled to him through Colonel Sambo Dasuki. And we round up with the report that the Kaduna State High Court has given two conflicting judgments over the Religious Preaching Regulation Bill that was recently passed into law by the state's last House of Assembly. In the suit filed by the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Justice Hajara Gwada, in her judgment, ruled that the state government has the power to make laws to regulate religious preaching. In another breath, the court described the proposed licensing of religious preachers in the state as unconstitutional. In 2016, the Kaduna State government had sent the Religious Preaching Regulation Amendment Bill to the State House of Assembly for passage into law. While the bill was being debated by the lawmakers, the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria approached the State High Court to stop the bill on the grounds that it infringes on their fundamental human rights of association and freedom. The judgment has elicited different reactions from the two parties, and the Kaduna State government has vowed to seek a review of the ruling.
And that's our program this week. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to catch the repeats on air or watch via our YouTube channel. I'm Shola Shieli. See you next week.